News starts now on Montana's news station.
The work is underway. What is now a simple walkway will soon be transformed into something bigger, better, and brighter for the residents. Good Sunday afternoon, and thanks for joining us. We'll get back to the Pondera Medical Center Memory Walk in a moment. First at 5:30, North Central Montana is in the national spotlight this Sunday night, but not for the best reasons. National Geographic will feature Great Falls, Havre, and other areas of the state in this week's episode of Drugs, Inc. The episode is titled Meth Boom Montana. An English film crew shot the episode over the summer. It features several officers from Great Falls. In their promotion for the show, National Geographic writes, quote, "Man poses the greatest threat to drug smugglers across the border into Montana's wilderness. They claim our long winters and boredom and isolation fuel addicts' urgency for the drugs." If you want to hear more, it's on the National Geographic channel tonight at 7. A summer hotspot and recreational necessity will soon look and function better than it currently stands. The Great Falls Park and Recreation Department will replace the 33-year-old Broadwater Bay boat ramp. The project was made possible by a $41,000 Missouri Madison River Fund grant. City officials say the current boat launch provides more than 2,200 launches a year and is outdated and unsafe. Funds from the grant will be used to replace an old section of the boat ramp with a new push-in concrete slab, making the ramp safer and more accessible. The money will be available after January 30th, and city officials anticipate the project being underway this fall. Mother Nature has held off on the snow in most of the area today, but cold, windy conditions have moved in. Claire, is it sticking around?
Well, Jen, this wind will be here for the next few days. Here's a look at our wind speeds right now. It is pretty strong out there. We are looking at 28-mile-an-hour winds right now in Great Falls and 38 in Cupping and 23 in Havre. Temperatures are also very cold as well. As we take a look at our current temperatures, 23 in Great Falls, 22 in Cupping. But what's important here is the wind chill. It is feeling a lot colder out there than it actually is. But coming up in the complete forecast, I'll let you know if any warmer temperatures are on the way. Back to you, Jen.
All right, thanks, Claire. A summer-long chase for a dog living on the Anaconda Hills golf course has come to an end, but the four-legged friend still doesn't have a home. MTN's Aaron Shrimley brings us the story of one man's mission to protect the animal as winter rolls in.
It didn't take long for Gary Hansen to develop a relationship with Anaconda Hills' mysterious golf course dog this summer.
Usually are one of the first groups to golf in the morning, and she was always there, followed us around. And
Hansen, along with the maintenance crew, decided the dog needed a better name than Bogey and settled on Molly.
yeah, I always took her treats out, and I snuck her a few energy bars and some other things.
But once the season ended and winter started to set in, Hansen was worried for Molly's well-being.
I took it upon myself to just try to feed her every day.
Molly, a very submissive animal, seems to be petrified of people, but Hansen found the key to her heart through cheeseburgers.
McDonald's, McDoubles. She would come up and eat, and she got comfortable, and then I was able to touch her on the nose and on the head. And then I finally got to where I could pet her, and she kind of come around to the fact that I wasn't going to hurt her.
Finally, after visiting Molly every day for months, Hansen was able to put a slip leash up his sleeve and hook her collar. Molly is currently at the F&L Pet Resort waiting to be adopted. Handlers estimate she is around 3 years old and some sort of boxer mix. She's in good health, but on the thin side.
She's coming around, and all the golfers will be glad to know she's going to be good.
Hansen says he has considered adopting her himself, but feels another family with a big yard may be better suited, as long as they give her a cheeseburger from time to time. In Great Falls, Aaron Shrimley, MTN News.
Those interested in adopting Molly can contact Pet Posse. Formerly barren boring land at the Pondera Medical Center is being transformed into something a little more welcoming. The center broke ground this summer behind its extended care facility to build a community garden called the Memory Walk. So far, workers have installed a sidewalk and a few benches, but the finished project will include a playground, native vegetation garden for school students to learn from, and a sensory garden. Residents can also donate a piece of sidewalk or a bench to a loved one.
Anything we can do to help make the folks living in long-term care, to make their world a little bit bigger and just bring more opportunities for them to help things grow and work with children and and make the nursing home a pleasant place to experience.
Yount says the center will continue to work on the walk and hopes to get the community involved as well. But none of it would be possible without the donations and grants from supportive individuals. Caudal regression is a condition that affects the development of the spinal cord. It's a rare disease, but MTN's Angela Douglas introduces us to an inspirational and determined 12-year-old girl who lives with the disorder and recently made a life-changing decision.
Behind this shy smile is a strong little girl, determined not to allow her physical limitations to get in her way.
The things she does every day, it just amazes me how she can compensate for what she doesn't have naturally.
12-year-old KEYARA Ott has a disease that only 1 in 25,000 people are born with.
My diagnosis is spina bifida with scoliosis, caudal regression.
Those are big words for a 6th grader's vocabulary, and they go along with a very serious spinal disorder.
It's just a fluke. It's called caudal regression, so it's a form of spina bifida. Her spine quit forming. It stops at T12, and she has no lumbar vertebrae, no sacrum, no tailbone, and a very small pelvis.
KEYARA's legs were deformed, making it difficult for her to perform simple daily tasks like getting dressed. So at the age of 12, she made the decision to have her legs amputated.
We have talked about taking the bottom of her legs off for years and just panicked her. And so about 6 months ago, she chose.
My legs were crossed like crisscross applesauce, and I had webbing on my legs. Between my legs.
Between here and here.
And it got bigger, and it got more difficult for me to put clothes on.
I thought it was pretty amazing that somebody 12 could make that decision on their own.
Now KEYARA is attending physical therapy 3 times a week, learning how to walk for the first time.
I never walked in legs like this, so the first time I started this, it was very cool.
One of the big things that she wants to do is to be able to stand at the sink and brush her teeth, or to stand at the sink in the kitchen and help me do the dishes or prepare dinner.
This 12-year-old girl has already endured more in her lifetime than most people will ever have to. But she doesn't necessarily see it that way, and she wants everyone to know
that I'm just normal the way they are. I'm not different. I really don't like it when people stare at me, and adults do, because it makes me feel like I'm not normal and makes me feel like I don't belong here.
But you do, right?
I know I do.
And it's that tiny bit of sass that assures anyone who meets this little lady that the world is her oyster.
There's nothing to hold her back. She will be a productive member of society.
In Billings, Angela Douglas, MTN News.
KEYARA tells us she's also hoping to be walking independently with her braces by the time she enters high school. Quite inspirational.
Wow, that was a great story. That was so interesting.
I can't imagine the things we take for granted, just wanting to stand and brush our own teeth, and it's just the little things we take for granted sometimes.
Definitely. And playing out in the snow.
Yep.
Definitely, that is what we should have been doing today. Because it is cold out there, the snow is sticking around, but the wind has really been howling today. And as we head into tonight, there's another chance of snow. So here's a look at our forecast for tonight. It's going to be windy in Great Falls tonight. Temperatures dropping down to the low 20s. By 11 p.m. we might see another chance of snow showers. But for Helena, the snow showers might come a little bit earlier. The wind chill, that is what you're going to be feeling out there. That's what it's going to feel like. 0 degrees at 11 p.m. I'll have a complete look at your forecast after the break.